I am back. I don't even know how I'm gonna do this video. I have not filmed in at least 3 weeks and I'm kind of rusty. So I hope I can get through this video, but I was actually contemplating if I wanted to do a makeup tutorial or just sit here without makeup on and just talk about all of the products that I would recommend to you guys. Since the Sephora sale is still going on, we do have a couple of days to shop the sale. So if those of you who were waiting on me to upload this video, if you have not purchased anything yet, hopefully I can share some good products for you guys. But anyway, today I'm going to be sharing all of my top favorite Sephora, how do I say this? My favorite complexion products from Sephora, and that is foundations, concealers, primers, moisturizers, and I think that's about it. And I do have one palette that I want to share that I think is so great to get during this time because it is a little bit pricey, but since the sale is still going on, this is like the best time to get it. So what I'm gonna do is actually apply some of the products on my face, so that way I can at least give you guys an idea of, you know, what the products look like. So I'm gonna try to use products that I haven't used in a while, because I know I always use like some of my favorite products over and over and over again, especially like in makeup tutorials or mentioning them in my favorites videos. I'm just doing my brows right now because this is the part where, you know, this just takes the most time, but this is just a drugstore brow pencil. But yeah, y'all know like Sephora VIB Sale, like this is my thing. Y'all know I love to, you know, upload my recommendation videos. Y'all know I love to share my favorites. And since I didn't get a chance to do that earlier this week because I was not here, I figured let's go ahead and do it right now since the sale is still going on. So let me just finish up my brows really quick and then we'll get into the stuff. All right, so I finished up with the brows. If you guys were wondering what brow pencil I was using, this is the one by Maybelline. It's their new Ultra, it's called their Brow Ultra Slim Brow Pencil. But I guess I'll go ahead and mention the concealers that I use because these are available on Sephora. These are the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancers. I use the shade 13 and 14. So 13 is to clean up under my brows and the shade 14 is to clean up over my brows. I like to use this concealer only for my brows because it's pretty thick. Now I have used it a couple of times under my eyes, but if you're looking for a really thick concealer that's going to give you extra coverage that you can also wear as a foundation, these are pretty good for that. Also, if you are wondering what I was applying on my lips when we first, when the video came on, this is the Kopari Lip Glossy, and this is also from Sephora. So let's go in order of how I apply products on the face. So we're gonna start out with moisturizers. I have one that I haven't really shared much on my channel that I really want to recommend. This one is by Fresh. This is called their Rose Deep Hydration Face Cream. If you're looking for a moisturizer that's going to keep you moisturized for at least 24 hours, this is what you need. It is kind of thick, but it's not like too thick to where it's uncomfortable to wear under makeup. So I like to wear this because even though it is a little thick, it still wears really nicely under my makeup. So I'm gonna put this one on my skin today. The other moisturizer that I recommend is this one by Origins. This is their energy boosting moisturizer, which I know I've talked about this a lot on my channel in the past. I just haven't really talked about it much recently because I've been trying out a lot of other products, but this has been one of my top favorite moisturizers from Sephora. So if you're looking for something that's really, really lightweight, kind of like a gel consistency, then this is a really nice moisturizer to use. So yeah, those are the two moisturizers that I definitely recommend. So this one by Fresh and then this one by Origins. And I'm gonna have everything linked down below so you guys can shop the links down there. Now, as far as primers, I have several primers that I wanted to mention in today's video, but I kind of wanted to narrow it down so that way you guys won't get overwhelmed. So the first one I want to mention is, I know one that I talk about so much and that I mention in pretty much all of my Sephora favorites videos, but that is this one by Too Faced. This is their Hangover Primer, one of my favorite moisturizing primers of all primers. So If you've never tried this out, now is the best time to try it out because it is going to be on sale. And this one by Smashbox is another one of my favorite moisturizing primers. It's called the Photo Finish Primerizer. So this one is kind of similar to the one by Too Faced. I just feel like the one by Too Faced is not as, it's not as liquidy or as thin as the one by Smashbox, but they're both really nice. They're both really moisturizing, and I like how they wear under my makeup. So these are definitely my top favorite hydrating moisturizers from Sephora. And I know this one may look a little different because this was in a holiday gift set. It's one of their limited edition gift sets that I got during the holiday season, but definitely a good primer, both of these, if you have dry skin. So definitely try these out. Also, another good one that I really like, I feel like will be great for dry skin, oily skin, combo skin, is this one by Milk. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I'm actually going to use this one today instead of the moisturizing ones because I already have a good moisturizer on my skin right now. But this moisturizer is going to really grip your makeup. That's why they call it their Hydro Grip. It's hydrating, it gives you a nice grip. And I think if you let this sit on your skin for at least a few seconds or maybe like a minute or so, it gives it that nice tacky feel. And that's what I usually do. I'll usually put on a primer. Like for instance, this primer, I'll usually put it on my skin before I go into my brows. But that's what I always do. Is I don't know why I didn't do it today, but I always go in with my moisturizers and primers first before I do my brows. But I'll still let this sit for a few minutes just so it can get really tacky, which is already getting tacky right now. But yeah, if you're looking for a primer that's going to help with the longevity of your makeup, this is great. They have a larger size, which is this one right here, and they also have a smaller size for like $15. Same goes for the Too Faced primer and the Smashbox. So you can get these if you want the full size, you can get that, or if you want a smaller size, you can get that as well. And another primer, I have one more to share. This one is perfect for those of you who have oily skin. I have combo skin, so the only places on my face that gets really oily is my T-zone. But this one right here, this is the Fenty Beauty Mattifying Primer. This is the new one. I know they just came out with the moisturizing one as well, which is one that I've already ordered it. I just haven't received it yet, but I definitely want to try that one out too. But this one, hands down to me, is so much better than the original one. But I noticed with this one helps so much better with my T-zone than the original one. The original one, even though it does kind of give me that matte finish, this one definitely mattifies me more, and it also helps with controlling my oils and my T-zone. So if you have really oily skin and if you have not tried out any of the Fenty primers, then this one will be, in my opinion, this one will be a great one to start out with. All right, so those are all of my top favorite primers from Sephora. Now let's talk about the foundations. I have 5 foundations that I could definitely see myself repurchasing over and over again because I just don't see myself getting tired of these foundations because I just feel like I just said because so many times right there, but they're just good. I like them and they work for me. So the first one I want to talk about is the one by Estee Lauder. This is one that is going to really last for a very long time. So if you're looking for a foundation with full coverage, something that's going to last all day without having to touch up, this is what you need. I have the shade Sandalwood, and I think I purchased this twice ever since I've tried this foundation. So yeah, I've only purchased this twice. This is my second bottle and I really like it. The only thing I don't like about this foundation is it does not have a pump. So if you want to get a pump, I know the MAC Cosmetics pumps work perfectly for this foundation. I don't think the one by NARS work. I'm not sure, but I know for sure the one by MAC, it works on here. So since I haven't really used this much on my channel recently, I think I'll go ahead and apply this on my face right now so y'all can see what it looks like and see the finish. I'm just gonna pour a little bit out on my beauty sponge. This is by Sonia Kashuk. You can't get this from Sephora. I get this from Target, but just so y'all can see what the Double Wear foundation looks like on my skin, it just looks so good. But yeah, while I pat this in, I'm gonna try to talk about some other ones. My next top Sephora favorite foundation is this one by Too Faced. I feel like I've mentioned this one in all of my Sephora favorites videos, but I honestly can't get enough of this foundation. It's one of those foundations that gives you that your skin but better look, but it also gives you a nice coverage, if that makes sense. Look how this looks. Like, look at that. But yeah, also this works well for my T-zone. Even though I have a really oily T-zone, I feel like the foundation does not break up in this area even when I wear it for a long period of time. Same with the Estee Lauder Double Wear. And I also feel like this one by Too Faced is a great one. Well, in my opinion, it works great year round. So if I want to wear it in the winter time, fall time, spring, summer, it looks flawless on the skin and it does not look too cakey. Like, it's literally a your skin but better foundation. So I really enjoy this foundation. Another foundation that I really love is this one by Clinique. This is the Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. Now this one is going to give you a soft matte finish. It's not matte, but it does give you that nice natural matte finish, which is what I like. And the color I use in this is 24 Golden. Oh, I don't think I told you guys the color I use in the Born This Way, but this one is in the shade Chai. But going back to the Clinique, this one has a doe foot applicator, so it's super easy to apply. The other ones, it either has a pump, or like the one by Estee Lauder, it does not have a pump. So this one, you do get a nice size doe foot applicator. And they did come out with more shades. So again, this one is in the shade 24 Golden. The next foundation I want to recommend is this one by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now I know this is pretty new, but I have been wearing this consistently, you guys. Ever since I've tried it out in my, I think it was my first impressions video, I've been wearing it non-stop. I've actually been using different primers with it, and I really like how the finish is. I like how it wears on my skin all day long, and I like the coverage. It gives me a nice natural coverage. It doesn't look too cakey on the skin, and it is pretty hydrating. So if you have dry skin, this is a great foundation for you. But yes, definitely recommend this foundation, especially if you have dry skin. My last foundation that I want to recommend is another one that I feel like I've mentioned several times in my Sephora favorites video, but it's my favorite, and it is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I feel like this one is kind of sort of similar to the Anastasia, not because of the packaging. I know when you first see it, you'll think, okay, this is a dupe to the NARS, but I think it's similar because of the finish. They both give me that luminous dewy finish, but it's not like too greasy dewy. It's like a nice natural glow within look. So these are kind of similar in a way. I have not worn these together, but just after, you know, trying this one out for a few weeks and then remembering how this one wears, I feel like this one by NARS is kind of similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills. If they had different packaging, I honestly would say the same thing. I'm not just saying this because the packaging is the same, but I feel like as far as the finish, how they wear, how they look on the skin, I just have a strong feeling that these are pretty similar. If you guys want to see me do a comparison video, like a Anastasia on one side, NARS on the other side of my face, let me know and I'll do that for you guys. Just go ahead and leave a comment down below and we will make it happen. All right, let's talk about the concealers. So I only pulled out 3, and these are 3 that I have already repurchased, and then one of them that I have not repurchased but I feel like is one of my top favorite concealers from Sephora. So that one would be the Huda Beauty. This is the Huda Beauty, is it Huda or Huda? I'm gonna say Huda, but it's the Overachiever concealer. This is one that I have not repurchased, but it's definitely one of my top favorite full coverage concealers from Sephora that I haven't really used much on my channel, but I have used it off of camera. So this is in the shade Peanut Butter, and we're gonna use this today instead of the other 2 that I'm gonna show, but I'm just gonna show you guys the coverage of this concealer. And I like to tap it because it's so full coverage, so I try not to use too much of the product. But I'm just gonna tap it under my eyes, take it down the bridge of my nose, chin, and then my forehead. And I noticed with this concealer, you have to kind of work with it fast, but not like too fast, but it does kind of dry down. So this is how it looks. Gives me a really nice full coverage under my eyes. And I always like to take a little bit over my lid like that. So while we blend this out, let's talk about the other two. The other one I have is by Cover FX. This is the Power Play Concealer in the shade Deep 2. This one is, I feel like it's not as much of a full coverage as the Huda Beauty, but it does give me a nice finish. I love how it blends out. I like how it doesn't really crease under my eyes. And I like how it is a long wearing concealer. This one's also hydrating too. So the one by Huda, the one that I'm applying right now, kind of gives you a matte finish, but it's not like too drying of a matte finish. I know some concealers, they'll be too dry, especially the one by, what is it? Tarte, the Tarte Shape Tape. I feel like the one by Huda is not as drying as that one, but it does give you a matte finish. But this one by Cover FX is more so hydrating. And what I'm gonna do now is actually apply a little bit of this under my eyes so y'all can kind of see it as well, and also down the bridge of my nose. The other concealer that I recommend is another full coverage concealer, and it's gonna give you more coverage than this one by Cover FX, which is the one by Too Faced. This is the Too Faced Super Coverage Concealer in the shade Chestnut. This is the color that I use under my eyes to highlight, and I also like to use the color Mocha to like spot conceal if I need to spot conceal, but this is the one that I always use. I've gone through two of these already. So this one and the one by Cover FX, these are my repurchase ones, but the one by Huda Beauty, this is the one that I haven't repurchased yet, but I've just definitely see myself repurchasing if I ever run out. The thing about the Huda though is a little bit goes a long way, so I feel like I'm not gonna really run out as fast as these other two. But all three of these concealers are definitely my top concealers from Sephora. All right, so now that that's blended in, I need to go ahead and set under my eyes really quick. So going into the setting powders, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 setting powders to share. So I have a couple of pressed powders and also some loose setting powders. So the first one I want to talk about is this one by Too Faced. Y'all already know I recommend this one in all of my Sephora favorites videos, but I had to recommend it again because it is my top favorite. I have the shade Translucent Caramelized Peach for today, but usually I talk about the original one, but I want to recommend this one for people with deeper skin tone. So if you have already tried out the Too Faced Peach Perfect Setting Powder and you feel like it's a little bit too light, or you just don't really care for that pink peachy color, so you're looking for something that's a little bit more warm, definitely try this one out. This one is more golden, so I'll go ahead and apply this under my eyes so y'all can see what it looks like. So it's definitely more golden. It's not too light. And I like the setting powder because it literally keeps everything in place all day long. Like, this is a true matte setting powder. So if you're not really into mattifying setting powders, you may not like this, but even though this is a matte powder, it's not a matte powder that's too dry. There are powders out there that are matte that feel really dry on the skin, but this one is not. This one feels comfortable. It keeps everything in place, keeps everything matte, and I love it. And another setting powder that I highly recommend is the new Anastasia Loose Setting Powders. I use the shade Deep Peach, which is actually kind of like the same color as the powder that I'm applying right now. Yeah, it's pretty close. Let me show y'all. I'm trying not to spill them over, but hopefully it focuses on both of them. All right, so there they are right there. But yeah, they're pretty close. And I'll apply a little bit of the Anastasia powder on my eyelids because y'all know I always set my lids when I put on my concealer. So just gonna put a little bit of this on the lid. So I feel like the one by Anastasia is a little bit more hydrating than Too Faced, but it also gives you a matte finish. It's just not, you know, it's not as matte as Too Faced. All right, so another one that I recommend, which is a loose powder, is this new one by McGRATH. This is in the shade Medium 3. This color is also similar to the Too Faced Peach Perfect and the Anastasia, the two powders that I showed a minute ago. And this one, I mean, the color is almost the same. It's that really pretty golden color. So I'm gonna put this along my jawline. If I had to compare this one to the other ones, I feel like this one by Pat is really close to the one by Anastasia, like really, really close. They both kind of give you that matte finish, but it's not as matte as Too Faced. But if you're looking for a powder that's, you know, that you're gonna get more product in, then obviously the one by Anastasia, you'll get more of the product because it's bigger. But I definitely feel like this one and the one by Anastasia is kind of close because they give you a nice matte finish, but it's not like as matte as Too Faced. So really, really nice powders all together. All right, so before I dust the powder away on the side of my face, let's talk about the pressed powders really quick. One is definitely not going to come as a surprise to you guys, which is the Sephora Microsmooth. This is literally my favorite pressed powder of all pressed powders, whether that's drugstore, high-end. This is it. I love the finish of this. I love how it just smooths everything out. It's very light. When I say light, I don't mean like the color, I mean like the finish. Like, it doesn't give you that heavy cakey look. You can brush this over liquid foundations. You can brush this over a stick foundation. If you want, you can wear this alone. You'll just have to really build it up. But it does give you a nice sheer finish, and I love it. I love to wear this year-round, winter, spring, summer, fall, and it just gives me a beautiful, 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 soft finish. So I highly recommend this. I use the shade Deep Ebony, and I honestly cannot get enough of this product. So I do have several of them several backups in the back there in my drawers, but this is hands down my favorite pressed powder of all pressed powder. If y'all want me to kind of compare it to something else, I would definitely say the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish is pretty close, if not the same as this. This one is just a little bit cheaper than the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, but if you like the one by MAC and you want to either repurchase it but don't want to spend that much for it, but you want something very close to it, then this one is definitely going to be your best bet. Another one of my favorites, which has become my newly favorite pressed powder, is this one by Too Faced. This is the new Born This Way pressed powder. I have the shade Chai, and this is what I'm going to be using today. So this, just like the Sephora Microsmooth, is really nice to wear over liquid foundation, stick foundations, or if you want to wear it alone, you can definitely do that. I have not worn this alone yet, which is what I should have done in today's video, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll do it in another video, but I have not seen it on my skin. Like, I don't know what it looks like worn alone on my skin, but I do like how it wears over pretty much any foundation that I've worn with it. So I just buff it into the skin like this, just to make sure that everything is set. Especially everywhere that I did not apply like the loose setting powder, like the sides of my face right here, my forehead. That's pretty much where I like to focus most of that product. So I'm just gonna buff it in like this, and also kind of lightly dust away that setting powder on the side of my face. And I have one more pressed powder that I would recommend. This is actually a translucent powder, which is one by Laura Mercier. I like the loose powder, like the loose setting powder by Laura Mercier, but I love this. This is my favorite pressed translucent powder, and I only have two favorites that are translucent, which is the one by Rimmel, the pressed Rimmel London translucent powder, which I know I've talked about so many times on my channel, especially like in my drugstore videos. But this one is my second favorite, and I love this powder. So if you're into pressed powders, like pressed translucent powders, and not so much into the loose ones, this one is a great one to try out if you guys are interested. I think this is kind of similar to the one, like the loose one is just pretty much in pressed form. It does have I think it had a brush in it. I don't have it anymore, but it does have a little mirror. It's nice and compact. You can easily put this in your purse, your makeup bag, and I just like the finish that this gives. I'm actually gonna put a little bit of this on the sides of my nose because most of you know I like to bake the sides of my nose because this is where I usually get oily, but it goes on like butter. Y'all see that? Like, look at that. The pigment is intense. You can use a brush, you can use a sponge like I'm doing. The way I use this, I don't usually use a sponge with this. I'll just use like a little, let's see, let me show you this one, even though this is dirty. But this is my tapered highlighting brush from, this is from my brush set. I use this to either highlight the face, set my concealer. You can use this in so many ways, you guys, but I'll have the link down below if you guys are interested. But this is a brush that's perfect for setting your concealer. Like if you just want to put it in the press powder and just set it lightly with it, looks bomb, works perfectly, and I love it. So this is definitely one that I highly recommend. All right, so the last product that I highly recommend to all of you guys is the Sephora Pro Base Palette. I always recommend the Sephora Pro eyeshadow palette in all of my Sephora favorites videos, like my Sephora recommendation videos, but I really want to recommend this one because you can use this in so many different ways, you guys. I have the shade Deep. You have bronzers, you have highlighters, you have blushes. You can also use these as your eyeshadow if you want to, but the shade that I use in here as my bronzer is this one right here. This is called Jet Setter, and also this one in the shade Epic, the one that I'm pointing to. This is also really pretty as a bronzer if you are wanting something more deeper. And then these shades, like the shades right here, these are perfect for blushes. This one, and this one. This is so pretty as a blush topper. This shade right here is called Queen. And then these highlight, like girl, this is the palette, like the palette of 2019. I kid you not. So if you're looking for a bronzer, highlighter, blush palette, this is great for that. They have two other ones, but this one is best for me because the shades are, you know, obviously deeper. But this is it. So I'm gonna use this on my face, also a little bit on my eyes because I don't really have any eyeshadow palettes to share since today is all about the complexion. So starting out with the bronzer, let me try to brush off. I need to wash my brushes like really bad. But the bronzer, the shade Jet Setter is what I'm gonna be using. I'll also show you guys what Jet Setter looks like too. So I'll show you guys that in a minute. But I'm just gonna lightly brush on this color on my forehead. I need to take this thing off so I can really get to my forehead. But I hate getting product in my lace because it just looks crazy on days when I don't have to wear makeup, you know? So, all right, so this is what Jet Setter looks like on the skin. Really pretty, warm. I just love it so much. I'm gonna show y'all what Epic looks like. Let me find a brush that's clean enough. Is this clean enough? Yeah, this is clean enough, whatever. So this is the Fenty highlighting brush, but I'm gonna use it more so right here to really sculpt out my cheekbones. So I'm gonna dip it lightly into the shade Epic. Look how much product comes out. Like this is a very pigmented palette. So I'm gonna take some on my, so I'm gonna put it right here. You see how it really darkened it up a little bit? So you can definitely use this as a contour if you want, but it definitely gives you more dimension on your skin. So I'm gonna go over that with my fluffy brush. This is Tom Ford. If y'all are wanting some more luxury, like luxurious, high-end brushes from Sephora, Tom Ford bronzer brush is my favorite. All right, let's go to the other side so y'all can really see. Look at that. It definitely gives you like that. Girl, get this palette. Get this palette. Put it in your cart right now. If you don't have it in your cart, if you haven't shopped for anything on the website yet, at least get this palette because you need it. Now I'm gonna dust away my nose. This is the Fenty Beauty bronzer brush. I like to use this to dust away any powder on my face that I use to bake. Sometimes I'll go overboard with the powder, like you see that it looks really light right there. So I'm gonna try to dust away as much as I can and then go back over it with my powder brush that we use with the Too Faced. I also want to recommend the bronzers by Fenty Beauty. If you guys have never tried out any of the bronzers and you have been wanting to, now is a great time to try them out. I use the shade Cocoa Naughty and also Mocha Mommy. Cocoa Naughty is not as dark as Mocha Mommy, but this is the perfect shade to use on me as my bronzer. And also I like to use it to kind of warm up the sides of my nose, just kind of give me that nice sculpted look so it doesn't look too flat. So I just put it on the sides of my nose like this. Then I'll take my little powder brush. By the way, this brush is also from my brush set. And I'll just pinch it and just go down the sides of my nose so that way it doesn't look too harsh, like the line doesn't look too harsh. Just go down like that. Make sure everything is blended. And really quickly, I'll go back into the Sephora Pro Face Palette and just pick up one shade because y'all know I love me like a one shadow look. So I'm gonna wipe off my brush even though I need to wash it. So I'm gonna take this dark shade right there. This is in the shade Epic, and I'm just gonna put this right here on the outer part of my lid. Just pack it right there. I'm using my Morphe M504 brush, by the way. So I'm just packing that shade right there like that, and also blending it into the crease. Then I'm gonna take the lighter brown right here. This is the color that I use to bronze in the shade Jet Setter. And I'm just gonna put this all over my lid like this, using the same brush. And then lightly blending it into the crease and also blending it into that first shade that we used. Like that. And also bringing it up towards my brow bone like that. I'm gonna take the shade what is this? Premier, this one right here, this mauvey color right there. And we're gonna use that as my blush. Where's my brush? Let's put it right here. And you don't have to use a lot of this either because these are super pigmented. Look how pretty that looks. And for highlight, I'm gonna take the shade Queen right here, which is really pretty as a blush topper, but I'll show y'all what it looks like as a highlighter. It's like a really, look at that. Really pretty rose gold. I'm just gonna wipe some on the cheeks too because it makes a really nice blush topper. And I'll take LA, the gold right here, and I'm gonna put a little bit of this on my forehead right here because y'all know I always like to kind of highlight the temples of my forehead, and then a little bit on the middle of my nose right there. Yep. I'm gonna put on a little bit of mascara, even though this is not in today's like this doesn't fit today's category, but this mascara is also one of my favorites from Sephora. This is the Hourglass Caution Mascara. So I'm just gonna put this on my lashes. And the last thing I like to do is of course my lips, and I know this is not like complexion related, but my favorite lipstick from Sephora is this one right here. This is their lip cream. What is it called? Their Sephora Rouge Cream lipstick in the shade Authentic. I've used the mess out of this lipstick. This is one that I always wear in my videos. If you guys ever wonder like what is that mauvey nude color on her lips, is usually this one right here. But I'm not gonna apply any lip liner so y'all can really see how it looks on the lips. And it's super creamy. But yeah, that's it. But yes, those are all of my favorite complexion products from Sephora. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the way I did this video. I know it was kind of different, but I had a lot of fun just showing all of my favorite complexion products, as well as just kind of applying some of them on my face. So let me know if you enjoyed this video by giving it a huge thumbs up. I am doing a giveaway on my channel every single month. So every month I give away one box to one person, and it's really easy to enter. All you have to do is make sure that you are subscribed, make sure you thumbs up this video, as well as leave a comment down below in the comment section. And I really don't want the comments to be anything about the giveaway. Let's talk about the products that I shared in today's video. Let's talk about if you've already shopped the sale. Let's talk about your favorite complexion products. Let's talk about that. So yes, that's all that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It feels so good to finally be back in front of the camera and talking and just doing my makeup and just sharing makeup and just talking about all of my favorite things. So yes, that's all I have. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you thumbs it up. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.